Jolan Tru Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. I'm Pirates Mod. I'm Lieutenant Commander Cherrick of the Destroyer RAS Fides. As we continue our campaign against, we haven't yet decided. There's actually been votes in both directions, mainly either against the Hydran or the Gorn. Considering that they're on sort of opposite ends of the galaxy, it makes it a little bit difficult to start sort of slowly meandering our way towards one or the other. So we're probably going to just bounce around one of our border planets for a little while, maybe poke the Federation a little bit. Obviously, we can't do another Romulan versus Federation campaign. If you want to see that, go back to Season 8 where we did one of those. Yeah, we'll probably hang around here for a little bit while we sort of tally up even more votes, either for Romulan versus Hydrans or Romulan versus Gorn. That way we can really figure out exactly what sort of battles we want to get into. Anyway, with that out of the way, let us set out into space, into the neutral zone. I was trying to do that in a lower voice than I can right now, but unfortunately it didn't happen. However, we have been ambushed. Oh, this could be a little bit unpleasant. Of course it's not. We are Romulans. We have a cloaking device. There is no ambush in this universe that can outdo us, and in fact, oftentimes we'll find ourselves in a superior position. We have a Federation police ship and a Federation frigate, which is not terrible, actually, for us to actually get our hands on. So let's kick ourselves into great speed. Of a speed of 15, we'll throw every additional point of power into the forward shield, and we'll prepare the tractor shortly, but I intend to wipe out one, if not both of them, before we try and get out of here. It's worth 550 prestige to pull this mission off, so if you get a battle like this, it's kind of worth it to give it a shot. Now, the Federation ship does outgun us. He's got 2 photon torpedoes, 3 phaser 1s, and 2 phaser 3s. He might... Yeah, I think that's correct. So he is going to be pretty good. He's also got much better shields than we do. He's got normal yellow shields all around his ship, whereas we have a glass rear shield by virtue of our former Klingon design. It's going to make our lives just a little bit more difficult, but we have the advantage of grand Klingon maneuverability, so we're going to have to make the best possible use of that. We've kicked ourselves up to... Oh yeah, important thing to note, if you're going to play an ambushee mission, do not attempt to capture. Attempting to capture will result in bad things. Namely, the game will penalize you 550 prestige. So just keep that in mind. If you ever want to run this mission and you ever want to be super aggressive, don't capture anything. You will not be rewarded, you will be penalized. I don't know why it does it, but that's the way that the game runs. So we're slowing down a little bit to give ourselves a little bit more of a forward shield. He's already launched a photon torpedo in order to nail us from long range, which he was successful at. However, we're going to start to really slow down now and kind of hope that he keeps coming towards us. He's doing a little kink out maneuver, and he should come right back in. We're about to hit range. All plasma, engaged. All plasma? Did we stop charging? There we go. Whew. Almost didn't get that out in time. So we managed to nail him. Let him go. Let's pass on by so I can get 3 more phasers onto the target. The police cruiser is starting to come in here. I believe he's equipped with at least 1 photon torpedo. Triple phaser! Good hits. Okay, you've got, yeah, a photon torpedo, 2 phaser 1s, or 3 phaser 1s. So this could be a little bit more irritating than otherwise decided. As you can see, it's basically an Intrepid class, which I find to be absolutely adorable. Alright, so we are still within effective range of our phasers. If I lash out shortly, manage to get a couple of good hits. Lovely. I need a point of power into my electronic countermeasure. I'm going to throw that in there, see if I can help out a little bit. I don't want to go too slowly on this one. I also don't want to let him in too close with a loaded photon torpedo, as those will hurt a lot. The additional point of electronic countermeasure should help out just a little bit. I do have 3 phasers ready to go, so I'm going to take the opportunity to whip around. Oh, he did it back to me. Interesting. So I've managed to hit him a couple of times. We're going to turn on into him. We will probably want to duck into cloak, although... Oh, teamwork? No, this is not teamwork. This is just randomness. So I'm perfectly content to let you hold on to me, because I can break the crap out of you. I mean, if you hold on to me, I won't even need to worry about it when my plasma torpedoes are fully charged. So I'm content to sit here. I mean, I have the forward shield capability, especially if I slow down even more. So I should be able to tank his damage and then just keep hurting him. So plasma torpedoes are almost ready. Can I generate a hold beam of my own? Because we're about to need it. Slow down even more. Just get all the power to the forward shield, as our plasma torpedoes are about to be ready. All weapons select. Hi! Oh, it's a little... I've never seen them. I've literally never seen that before. Plasma torpedoes, please engage. I require all of your firepower. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why he's held on to me, but I don't think it worked out for him. More speed. Let's get around. Hopefully we can avoid getting shot at from the rear from this incoming police frigate. Alright, we got him. And... vanish. Now, why did we do this? He's got phasers. He's in my back arc. I don't have to worry about that for now. So we're just going to reduce speed. We're going to skulk around a little bit. Managed to get this with a light hit, but that's not bad. We come out of cloak now, and we are aggressive. He's traveling at a speed of 9. I've got 2 phasers ready to rock and roll. It's not exactly like having 2, plasma torpedoes, but it's a little bit. Plus, my maneuverability should allow me to stay behind the Hodgson. He is picking up speed a little bit, so we have more power that I can use. I want to just sort of hang in behind him and just plink away forever with the phasers, because if I can do that, I can keep him under control. That will cause me problems. Now, one thing we also need to remember, if he manages to get around behind us, which I don't anticipate he will, we do have our nuclear space mine should we require it. But I hopefully will not have to use it. Managed to get 2 good hits. Luckily, our shield reinforcement handled all of that, so not exactly a concern. Should be able to keep up the rate of fire behind him. He's still within excellent range for phaser work. He's dropping another mine, just continuing to loop around, but we can basically skip along the edge of that and avoid it entirely. Eventually, my plasma torpedoes will fully charge, and he will be dead. I mean, he's attempting to use his best weapons, but it's not going to work out well for him. Especially not with my phaser capacitor being at full charge while we wait for the forward phaser ones to recharge. Ooh, plasma torpedo's almost ready. He's running away at full speed. So if he comes back around, I can probably get him. Forward shield still more than capable of handling any amount of power that he's shoving out there. Start the trajectory beam, as I do have a plasma torpedo ready to go. Phasers. Got a penetrating hit. And this is getting a little bit close. A little bit too close. Plasma. So right on into him. Cause a good amount of damage. Have another plasma torpedo ready to go in just a moment time. And activate, activate. There we go. Another one down, and we'll pass on by. Lay into him with our phaser 2. Another good couple of hits. Not bad at all, as he is weak and trailing plasma. We've knocked out 2 of his 3 phaser ones. It's clear his photon torpedo has been stunned as well. We have the advantage. So, yeah, ambush mission. We're going to do pretty good on this one. Give him a little bit of love. 2 damage on a love tap. Not too much, but hey, it might stun his photon torpedo even more. Now, under normal circumstances, I'd start looking to try and capture him. But again, if you attempt to capture somebody on one of these missions, on an ambushy mission, it will penalize you 550 prestige. It's annoying. It's kind of sad, because it's like, hey, I got into this ambush and I killed everybody and then stole all their ships. But High Command is not happy with you about that. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. Most of his ship systems are down. We're seeing a lot of stun systems across the board. I am actually going to be arrogant and increase the speed of time while we just sort of continue our assault against him, because I think we have him pretty much dead. I mean, he can attempt to resist all he wants, but I don't think he will succeed. Although maybe. There we go. Starting to get more good in hits. And my plasma torpedoes are ready, so I can start a trajectory beam. So we will just initiate this, and then we'll spin high. And that'll do that. We didn't even lose our shields. That's probably as perfect as that could have gone. We got ambushed by the entire force. Well, the entire force being 2 ships. And we fought our way out of it quite elegantly. Lovely use of this ship. This ship is actually really, really good. 500 prestige, however, is our reward for a job well done, which puts us up to 1386 and shoves the enemy back a little bit. We're hanging out in the neutral zone today. Apparently there was nothing to hang out with over here, so we'll head on back. And an asteroid assault. Unfortunate. Well, not the worst thing in the world. Hopefully we'll have friends on this one, but if not, we can technically handle it. But luckily for us, we have friends. It is the RAS Fendere, and we're fighting against a Federation command cruiser. So let's go join up with Fendere over there, because he's going to need our help, and we're going to need his. So he is an RKR. He's equipped with 2 G-type plasma torpedoes, 4 phaser 2s, and 3 phaser 1s. Not exactly a heck of a lot of firepower. Meanwhile, this command cruiser is equipped with, I believe, 8 phaser 1s, or is it 6 phaser 1s and 4 phaser 3s? He's got at least 2 phaser 3s, might be 4. But more importantly, he's got 4 photon torpedoes. So the photon torpedoes are especially vulnerable to electronic countermeasure, so we will utilize a little bit of that. An added dash of spice in order to make him a little less capable of doing things to him, allowing him to do things to us. So we just want to meet up with the Fendere so we can basically hide behind him, pop out of nowhere, and just utilize our plasma torpedoes in the most efficient way we possibly can. Mainly by just grabbing onto him with a boat anchor. As you can see, it is a good old-fashioned cigar and cell Constitution class. No bloody A, B, C, nor D for this vessel. And plasma torpedoes are out. He will, of course, attempt to avoid it, although the first one managed to get through anyway. In fact, if he had not fired that second one, I don't think he would have actually attempted to defend against it. Prepare the trajectory beam, because we're going to actually try and grab onto him. Actually, I don't need to, now that I stop to think about it. I'm in a great position here. Shut off the tractor beam. Select both plasmas. Engage. It is the Yamamoto, and he's already used his Wild Weasel shuttle. Oh, he nailed us with that one. Then we hit him with that, and then we disappear. Because we happen to be on the side that he does not have a weapon facing us towards. So we're going to skulk away after taking a penetrating hit with a photon torpedo, which is not exactly a pleasant situation to be in. We can zip away at quite high speed because we have the power for it. He managed to nail us despite our cloak. He is being accurate and scary. Both of those things are not exactly something we're super thrilled about. We need to build in a little bit more distance, make it less likely that it'll actually manage to hit us. Also allow our buddy over here to do a little bit more work. We need to get our bow back around to the target so we can start getting a little bit of work done here. Mainly so we can have enough defenses to handle him. And it looks like he's coming out of cloak. He's getting ready to shoot as the Yamamoto comes screaming around, and we're going to decloak as well. Add in a little bit of additional firepower to this. I mean, we don't have much to add, but that's a hit, and a penetrating one at that. 18 damage on through. It could do a maximum of 20, so it managed to peel away that shield quite nicely. We're going to see if we can't slip around to this side so I can get my phasers and well, just my phasers. I was about to say phasers and photon torpedoes, but we do not have access to all of that. There we go. Phaser 2, getting in there. A mine's going to suck quite badly. And then we're going to disappear. Oh, flash cube. So we did get flash cubed by that mine, which did reveal us, and now we've got that mine, which means I can't hide my weakened side because he's got problems with us. We were slowly whittling down the Yamamoto. So I need a little bit of repairs, but do I want to spend for them? I don't think that I do. I only have a single phaser down, and we're down by 1 point of power. Not the worst thing in the world. So skulking around at bottom speed should be okay as we charge up our plasma torpedoes. It's a slow process, but it's one that we can handle because as long as we're under cloak, he's going to have a real hard time nailing us. And as long as, you know, the Fendere is here as well, we can hopefully use him as a decoy. Although, as you can see, we've taken probably way more damage than we otherwise would want to. So he's coming back around. I want to make sure he's basically used up all of his weapons. Our plasma torpedoes are about to be ready. Can't charge refractor beam while I'm under cloak. But if he turns away... Yeah, he's got 8 phaser ones. There goes photon torpedoes. He only had the 2 of them. So we're going to prepare a high energy turn, I believe.
Initiate rapid maneuvering.
And we're going to come out of cloak. And surprise! Plasma torpedo 1. Because I don't believe he will actually attempt to defend against the plasma torpedo 2. And phasers as well. So good couple of hits in there for a total of 30 damage on top of that, and we can disappear once more. He's lost his shuttle bay, which makes him vulnerable to any sort of follow-up strikes. It'd be great if we could steal this ship, but I don't think I have the ability to. Yeah, I've got 1 Marine. So we can't exactly steal the vessel. Fendere coming out of cloak, now utilizing his phasers through that open hole in the shields, preventing it from recharging. We've already dealt a pretty decent amount of damage. We've destroyed 4 of his 8 phasers. It's not terrible. Plasma torpedo coming in. Is it real? It absolutely was, and has removed his aft shield. He is now in trouble because, well, we're Klingon designed ships and we have a lot of maneuverability at our disposal. Opening fire on us as we decloak, but the forward shield was able to handle that. Got a couple of good phaser hits onto his stern, damaging his tractor beam, but nothing too serious as of yet. We do, of course, want to try and stay behind him to avoid most of the damage. Although we're about to get shot at by that phaser 1 in front because it's the front half. Or, you know, he could turn away from us and decide that he doesn't want to shoot us with his best weapon at the moment. Because his photon torpedoes, he's got one of them, but the arc for that is quite narrow. Ooh, we could try and use a nuclear space mine. That'd be pretty cool. Plasma torpedo about to travel in, and good hit for another 20 damage, starting to shun even more systems. He does have 2 phaser 1s that are staring me in the face, and I'm more a little like concerned by it. He did cut through our shields and damaged our phaser 2 mount once again, but his speed is down to 0. He is now a sitting duck in the water as we drift away, nice and safe. All we need to do probably is 1 last high energy turn and plasma torpedo, although I do need a double check. Yeah, I don't want to risk that. That would not be worth the risk. So we'll select both our plasma torpedoes as we come to bear, pick up the speed a little bit. We have full power in the ship once more, so we can bring this around as fast as we possibly can. And since he has no more shuttle bay, this should be an execution. Oh, that was good. That was infuriatingly good. Good final shot. He waited for his best opportunity. He managed to nail us, taking out a phaser 1. Now, am I going to fix that phaser 1? The answer to that question is no. The reason why? We're squaring off against an asteroid starbase at this point. We're not going to use the phaser 1. We're going to be using these plasma F torpedoes only. Then we're going to be hiding underneath cloak and basically recharging over and over. Can you lead me to wherever it is we're going? I wasn't actually paying that much attention. Apparently in this direction, we shall find the starbase. So shield slowly recovering. There is the asteroid starbase off into the distance. We will slowly skulk on in because we don't want to get ourselves killed. That's the biggest concern at the moment. I do believe we can take this, especially, you know, now that we have our buddy helping along. But it is up at... Ooh, I didn't have my shield reinforcement on at all during that fight. Oh, that was very foolish of me. Okay, use most of that for speed so we can actually get within a range where you can do something. Now, these plasma F torpedoes are not exactly great when it comes to firepower. The range on them is the problem. So if we want to get a good, accurate hit, we have to be very close. However, he's got 4 phaser 4s and 4 phaser 3s, which is a fairly significant amount of firepower. So getting in close is a very difficult thing to do, and we don't have the power to just sort of bull our way through. So what we instead do is we cloak and we skulk. So we're going to slip on into range, under cloak, which will make his phaser force much less accurate and capable against us. We'll wait for him to fire the phaser force, and then we'll pop out with our plasma F torpedoes. And that should do exactly what we want to do. Now we need to be at a range of... Ooh, right here. Stop. All stop. Yep. So he has fired, so that we will do... hang on. Gotta slow down the speed time. Stay under cloak. We are cloaked? Yes. Excellent. So we want to stay under cloak, let him fire, then we'll slow down the speed of time. So coming out of cloak, plasma torpedoes select, fire them immediately, and recloak. Now he has no shuttle bay, so he can't deal with that, and so now we drop back under cloak immediately as it happens, and now we're just going to sit here for the next 3 turns. So these should hit for 30 damage. So I did read that range right, correct? Plasma F torpedo range... Oh, whoops. 0 to 5 is 20 damage, and it's 15 to damage at 6 to 10. I'm not quite willing to risk getting that much closer to him, so I'll be content with the 30 damage. And now we just sit under cloak and kind of wait and hope. And I don't need electronic countermeasure. Just all power to forward shields. Okay, good. We're able to actually tank the damage. So that's lovely. And this is how you beat, you know, star bases, planets even. Like, you could take on a planet with this ship. Maybe not a super well... yeah, you could take out the super well-defended planet. So, select all plasma. Maximum speed of time. Slow down. Wait for him to fire. He will fire at some point. And... coming out of cloak. So as we drift out of cloak once more, and then we lob our deadly payload and drop right back into cloak. It's very imperative that you get back under, because otherwise you're just going to take a lot of damage that you really can't afford. After all, you're a little tiny frigate. Well, destroyer, technically. So we can just tank the damage, and now he's getting involved as well, start to lob in his plasma torpedoes, and you just sort of work this cycle. And if you screw up this cycle, you'll probably die, but that's just what makes it fun. Because this allows the Romulans to be incredibly aggressive so early on in the game, where most other factions would not dare to attempt to assault a major starbase like this. As the Romulans, you can do so basically with impunity, because they can't stop you. The damage reduction... So, normally those phaser 4s, at this range... So, at a range of 8, your phaser 4 will deal an average of... minimum 7, maximum 12, an average of 8.2. So, he's got 4 of them. He would be dealing 24 damage to us. He can't even get through 7.6 points of power of shields. That is how good this is. Oh, unfortunately, this is the biggest weakness now, because he's firing them in stages. So that makes it dangerous to try and decloak to deal with this. So I'm just going to sit here and wait. Hope that he fires all of them again, because it's much too dangerous to actually risk coming out of cloak to just when he still has all systems available. But as long as he just... Ooh, if he keeps stagger firing, this is going to make life very difficult for me. Unless he can't shoot at something that's on top of him. I've never known that to be a thing, but hey, perhaps. Just gonna wait it out. Otherwise, if we get hit, we're just gonna get hit with the biggest truck you've ever seen. Coming out of cloak. And... they're just not doing anything new. We're gonna try it. Maybe he will notice. Okay, we hit... You can see how much of the firepower of the starbase is built up in those phaser 4s. We hit it, took out 2, and knocked this all the way below half. So, the risk of getting shot at is quite dangerous. However, if you can avoid it, you can basically annihilate anything. The largest of planets will lay at your feet as you just bombard them to death from the safety and security of your own little cloaking field. Plasma, and drop. And he's firing from basically point-blank range to try and avoid hits. So we just need... It looks like we're probably through most of his armor. And if that's the case, then we can just continue to lay into it, because eventually we're just going to start knocking out more and more systems. So once the armor is gone, we start hitting power systems, and then we start hitting weapon systems. And that is a very bad place for him to be in when he's missing major weapon systems. Because he only has so many, and they're all very important to him. Wait for him to shoot. He's coming out of cloak. Do you just not have the power for it? He might not. There we go. We've got him down to a single plasma 4. Or, not plasma 4, but phaser 4. So we have him basically finished off. So this will give us, hopefully, a fairly decent amount of prestige to go along with this, so that we can hopefully buy ourselves a larger ship. We need about 400 prestige to get ourselves into a proper cruiser, although maybe a jump up to an even better cruiser might be in order. After all, we've done a fairly good job with this specific mission. So prepare to drop cloak, and re-enter cloak. Alrighty, the target has been destroyed. A heavy cruiser and a destroyer managed to slip our way in and annihilate the enemy, cutting our way through a command cruiser and then their major defensive asteroid starbase. Not bad at all. We did take a pretty heavy toll, though. We've lost a phaser 1 and a phaser 2 that we need to get repaired eventually. 228 prestige is our reward. We have 1614 prestige, which a quick check of the shipyard is going to tell us that Vulture Dreadnoughts are available for a little bit more, but we probably don't want that. RKRs are available. Is that the most expensive thing on the market? It looks like it. So that RKR is what we just saw. I don't think I kind of want to move up to this. This would be kind of, well, disappointing. So this would be more our speed. We need to be on the lookout for a KRC at the very least, or maybe something even more powerful than that. Battle tugs obviously will not be an option for us. So KRCs are what we'll be looking for unless we move our way all the way up to Dreadnoughts, in which case I believe only the Vultures are currently available. Yeah, there's the War Vultures and the Vultures, and that's about it at the moment. So nothing... Wow, this is super cheap cloaking cost, but that's because it has no power. So maximum power 20, maximum power 41, which is amazing. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. I have been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time we upload a video, press the little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.